Turkish officials are saying that it is both one-sided and illegal for the United States to take the dramatic action of dropping Turkey from its F-35 fighter jet program. We have a statement now from the Turkish Foreign Ministry. This is what they have come forward to say regarding this move from the Pentagon.
This unilateral step is incompatible with the spirit of the alliance and is not based on any legitimate grounds. It is not fair that Turkey, one of the main partners of the F-35 program, is being excluded from the program, and the claim that the S-400 system will defeat the F-35 is invalid. We invite the United States to reverse this mistake that will open irreparable wounds in our strategic relations.
Now, the United States made the decision to drop Turkey from the F-35 program in response to Turkey's decision to purchase a Russian air defense system, the S-400.
To Pakistan now, where the founder of a terror group has been arrested. Hafiz Saeed and his militants have been blamed for the 2008 Mumbai attacks that killed more than 160 people.
The U.S. has offered a $10 million reward for Saeed as the Trump administration pressures Pakistan to crack down on terror groups. Saeed's arrest also comes just days before Pakistan's prime minister heads to Washington, D.C.
A deadly arson attack at an animation studio in Japan has proven devastating. At least 33 people are feared dead, and dozens more were injured in the attack. Rescue operations are still ongoing.
A man was reportedly seen spraying gasoline around the building before it was quickly engulfed by flames. Rami Inocencio has more details about the attack and the suspect.
Officials are labeling this fatal blaze an arson attack, which is something extremely rare in Japan after a 41-year-old man burst into the building in downtown Kyoto screaming, "Die." Local police said the blaze started around 10:30 this morning after the suspect sprayed some kind of liquid, possibly gasoline, on the premises of Kyoto Animation. Witnesses said they heard explosions and saw black smoke coming from the three-story building. More than 70 people were in the building when the fire began. Dozens were injured and brought to a local hospital. That includes the suspect who tried to flee the scene but collapsed from his injuries.
On Rwanda's border with the Democratic Republic of Congo, health workers in yellow vests are checking travelers' temperatures before allowing them to enter. Just across the border in the city of Goma, the death of a traveling pastor has sparked fears the disease could spread. Now Congo's Ebola outbreak has been declared a public health emergency of international concern by the World Health Organization. But the WHO has stopped short of calling it a global threat, saying the virus can still be contained regionally without travel bans.
That WHO does not recommend any restrictions on travel or trade, which rather than stopping Ebola can actually hamper the fight.
While millions of FaceApp users wonder, what do I look like decades down the road, lawmakers are now wondering, what is this Russian-based company doing with all your photos? On Wednesday, Senator Chuck Schumer sending this letter to the FBI and FTC calling for an investigation into whether personal data uploaded by millions of Americans onto FaceApp may be finding its way into the hands of the Russian government. And the Democratic National Committee warning its 2020 presidential campaigns not to use FaceApp because it was developed by Russians. In a statement, the company says user data is not transferred to Russia, and we don't sell or share any user data with any third parties. But in the company's terms of service, users agree to the transfer and storage of your information in and to the U.S. and other countries, and that by using the app, you give the company irrevocable, royalty-free permission to use your photos and data, even in advertisements for the application.
Prosecutors dropping charges against actor Kevin Spacey, something his attorney called for in court last week.
This case needs to be dismissed, and I believe it needs to be dismissed today.
The state of Massachusetts dropping a Nantucket case due to the unavailability of the complaining witness. That witness, a young man who was 18 when he worked as a busboy at this Nantucket restaurant. His mother told me in 2017 that Spacey assaulted her son.
It wasn't until Kevin Spacey put his hand inside his pants that he really knew he was in trouble.
You say he didn't consent to that?
Absolutely not.
The teen sent a Snapchat video of the alleged incident to his girlfriend and texted with friends. But last week at a hearing, his attorney said after police reviewed the phone, it went missing.
Your Honor, we could not locate the phone.
Well, you were just talking about Mandela Day and its origins, but I can tell you the people of the Cape Flats will certainly remember Mandela Day 2019 as the day that the SANDF moved into their gang-ravaged areas. I'm going to step out of shot because there's, excuse me, way more interesting things happening behind me. As you can see, there are SANDF members everywhere. They are heavily armed, but what we've seen thus far is they stand guard while police members carry on with search operations. We are right now standing in Hanover Park in the middle of 2 blocks of flats where they are busy conducting an operation. They were moving fast since we arrived here on the Cape Flats. We were with them in Hanover Park and it moves fairly quickly. We followed them here to Hanover Park where they're busy with their operations. Of course, we don't have much details as to what exactly the deployment will entail, but right now we're seeing that they are basically standing guard and police are conducting searches.
Darling Square in Sydney's CBD, a place for business, shopping and living. And its design was exactly what Google wanted.
This is the biggest deal Lendlease has done in our history. It's going to take our pipeline to over $100 billion.
The tech giant partnering with Lendlease, a global developer headquartered in Sydney, on a $21 billion construction deal to deliver 15,000 new homes alongside retail, hospitality and community spaces for them in 3 major districts in San Francisco. Turning Google's land holdings in San Jose, Sunnyvale and Mountain View into mixed-use communities over 1.4 million square metres.
This was instrumental in Google's selection of Lendlease. This is what they want to create, a beautiful precinct where people live, work, connect.
Now to that 2-year-old girl, luckily found alive after vanishing on a camping trip, spending the night lost and alone in the woods. Paula Ferris is here with the story. And Paula, this little girl's family is beyond relieved this morning, I'm sure.
Beyond relieved. What a remarkable story. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. A 2-year-old missing overnight in the remote woods of Michigan. When 24 hours passed, search crews feared the worst.
Outstanding. All units copy. The child has been located.
2-year-old Gabriella was miraculously found alive and healthy Tuesday morning after disappearing in the heavily wooded area of Oscoda County for more than 24 hours. The young girl was with her mother and family on a camping trip 2 nights ago. As they were preparing to leave, they noticed Gabriella was gone, and the urgent search began.
More than half of the country will feel the effects of a heat wave over the next 24 hours.
By the weekend, at least 14 states are expected to break temperature records. CBS News weather producer David Parkinson joins us now to talk about this heat wave. So just how bad is it expected to be, Dave?
It's bad, and it is expanding in scope. So here's the situation. It was primarily contained to sort of the Plains states on Wednesday. It expands today further east into the Ohio River Valley. By the time we get to tomorrow, it's throughout the East Coast. So by and large, when we take a look at the number of people that we're being impacted here with, we're looking at 150 million people under heat alerts. By the time we get to Saturday, 250 million people will actually be seeing high temperatures above 90 degrees. So it's a really, really uncomfortable situation.
And it's not just the heat, it's the humidity?